Interessant. Okay guys, here I got my chain. It's the DID 525 VX3 with direct energy transfer. Yes, that's what we want, I think. I will get the most difficult, get it out. This I always use. I'm gonna show you. Another trick, a hint. Okay, have a look. Choop, 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 looky, looky. Oh, yes. Now, normally that goes way better. I always use a piece of the carton. Something like this, and I place it in here. So, when I got the chain in, there is always some old sand and grease, and I don't want to have that on a new chain. So, hey, job almost done. Almost. And now with the link, the missing link, and it's gold. Well, actually, it's not really gold. I think. Now, let's see. Piece underneath there too. It's so easy. It's so easy. Now I think the best is from there to there, over here, and then back. Yep, that's what we're gonna do. So put it on your. Oh, what? Wait a minute. Away. Now it goes good. Then if you don't use the carton, your chain is already filled with old grime. Yes. Now, place this one here. Push the axle as far as you can. Grab the chain. Hop. Make it. Oh. Oops. No. One. And over here. Now I'm going to show you another trick. Those chains always fall down at a moment you don't want. So, do yourself a favor, get a tie wrap up, and that holds the chain in place. Hop. Then, always be sure, as I already had it once before, that they delivered a too long chain, and it was way at the end, at the adjustment. So I had to remove another link. So, but you only get one link thing each. Now we get the link out. Okay. And these are the 4 X-rings. Carefully, don't cut them. Okay. Oh, oops, this out of the way. Hey, I got other grease. Previous times it was more white. Now it's a bit goldish. Oh yeah, of course, because it's a golden chain. Now, I'm gonna put it like this so you can have a really good look at it. Zoom a bit in. This is the easiest, but very important task. Just cut off a hole. Take your link like this, see, and start lubricating this. Oh, up, up, up. And a bit there. What? Also the pins, needles and pins, serges, already sung about that. Okay, and then we have 2, one over here, one over there, a bit of grease also on top of that, wet. It's different grease, not sure what type of grease this is. Okay, yes, even kijken, nou, ik kan nog een beetje meer. See, a bit more, over there, tiny bit more, yes. So, it's greased up perfectly now. Yes, there he goes, and then wiggle it a tiny bit to be sure there is this tiny ridge, and this O-ring has to go over it a bit, I think, yeah, something. So, but now it's in place, so we're gonna loop this also richly, Jonathan Richly. You know that song? It was Egyptian reggae. It was when I was young. So don't forget his brother on this side, up, then up. Yes, okay, hop, 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 nicely in the middle, stuck in the middle, or something like that. Yes, then guys, we have this plate, and it has a marking on the outside, so the rest is also marking on the outside, oh, except for this one. and up. Now we're gonna press this plate on. Is that easy? Yep, that's easy. I got my tool. Then we need this tool to press the plate on. First thing we're gonna do is get my caliper and set it to 0 and measure this part to see how far I have to press the plate on. So I squeeze it on, up, close it, let's feel. Een klein beetje strakker nog. This one. Okay. 19.12. So, let's do it. Even kijken, deze. Then I'm gonna a little bit like to this side. This, put this thing in the middle. Okay, like this. Let's see if it's in the middle, as they have to go into those holes. Oh yeah. We start pressing carefully a bit and a bit and a bit. Now get it back off and see. Yes, now we can almost see them over there. Yes, so this is always a bit tricky, as they have to slide into those holes. Always want to be sure. Yes. Now we're gonna measure it. Oh, it needs to be 19.12 and it is now at, oh, this one. Let's see. $19.68. A bit more. Have to do it very careful. See, now it falls in easily. And carefully give it a tiny bit more. And measure it again. Okay, oh. 64. Okay. Oh. Okay. Yes. And now it's exactly at 19.14, and that's good. So now we can cut this one and this one, and then now guys, to flare those links out, hopefully that's the right way to say it, we need this tool. I had to making yeah, a thing for it to get it in my tool. But this is the most important piece, and the measurement to flare it out, hopefully between 5.7 and 6 mil. So here we got my tool. Screw this one out. Yep. This one comes out. The push thing. Then we screw out this one. Oh, wait a minute. I'm gonna get it like this. This one out. Put it in the box. It's better. That. Okay. I'm gonna screw this one all the way in. On this side we're gonna put this one because we have to block the pin. Screw it all the way out. Hop. And now comes the easy part. I like to screw this one off and take another one. Another one bites the dust. Hop. Okay. Put it like this, then this one, and we start to flare it, rev it, I think it's called. Let's see. Up. Loosen it, and we're gonna measure it. See, it's already starting. That's good. That's really good. Now, guys, I have to turn it a bit to over here so I can grab it. It's 5.57. A little bit more. I'm gonna flare the lower one too. So you don't, I don't know sure, but perhaps the link would, yeah, gaat scheef. So we give the rev it too. Okay. Up. Okay. Almost touching. Yes. Then we go to this one. It's almost touching. Hop. Up. Yes. Not too much. Okay. Shoulder. Wait a minute, this is for me the best way. Almost 5.8, so it is already within spec, but let's see, tiny bit more and then it's okay for me. Up, 1, 2, and then up. This one, this should do. A bit like this, so I can grab it. Yeah, it's 5.77. I think it's all right. Then we have his brother over here. We're gonna do the same. Actually, it's easy. Yeah, you need to have the right tool. That's. Wait a minute. Up. see. Okay, let's see where this one is. Oh, this one is at 5.82. That's within spec. Yep. Now, now we're gonna get the axle a bit tighter. Now I'm gonna mount back the speed sensor, the ABS speed sensor. Now this is tight. Oops. But not too tight. Okay. Now the first thing we're gonna do is bring the chain a bit within spec. A bit. It's really loose. So 13. And we're gonna always go from one side to the other. Over here you got the markings. Okay, just over 3. This is just over 3. Oh. Okay. Yeah, sounds already better, eh? Then now we're gonna give the axle just get it a bit. Up and not all the way tight. That sounds much better, and it sounds even better. This is how a chain sounds. Wow. Okay. Now guys, we have the bolt for the front sprocket, and if you watched carefully and didn't skip a piece of the video, wait a minute, that's what I want to talk about. A quick talk. Every now and then someone asks me something in the comments or by email. Hey old mechanic, what kind of oil filter did you use? And I think if you watched the whole video, I mentioned it. Or hey old mechanic, what's the torque of this and that bolt? If you watched the whole video, I talked about it. And it's also with these simply but important hints and tips. This washer is bent. It's spring-loaded. And this has a shoulder. But if you skip my video that I make in 4 hoops, 4 jumps, then you miss a lot of important information and you start doing it wrong. So watch my whole video. Enough. We gotta give it a clean. This one goes up like this with the shoulder to that side. Then we have that spring-loaded plate washer to clean it. Give it a good clean too. And again, perhaps you can see it in which way it's bent. It needs to go all like that. And then over here here is my sprocket. And BMW say use Loctite 243. They love it. They use liters of it, gallons. Up, up. Then, okay, screw it in. Wait a minute, you have to lift it a bit, see? Otherwise it might go down and it's not exactly now. Yep, yes. Okay, be sure. Yep, it sits right. Okay, now we're gonna pump the brake pads again, remember? Okay, and now we have to torque it to 50 Newton meters. Got my torque wrench. I'm gonna set it to 50 Newton meters, and that's over there. Okay, socket 17. Now, see, you can turn it so. Place your foot on the rear brake, like this, and then hop. One. Okay, got my crayon. Check. Oh, the chain too. My brand new chain. Old mechanic. As usual, turn it all the way out. Here's the free play. A bit in till you feel some resistance, and that's the right point. I give that protection thing a good clean. See? Oh, like this. Wasn't that difficult? Yes, they look good. It was Torx 25, remember? This one in a bit. These two were the same, although the rusty one was at the bottom. This one goes in over here. Hop. There it goes. Hop. Not too tight for this moment. And over here, this one we need that long Torx. It's deeper in. So. Okay, now we can tighten them all. It's plastic, so tight, but not too tight. This one. Okay, and this one. Okay, tight, but not too tight. Now. So guys, now we have to torque the bolts from the rear sprocket. A BMW in all their wisdom say in the manual you have to, the initial torque, the first torque is to 10 Newton meters, and then give them 90 degrees further. So I want to know what the torque is. So I got my special tool to see where it ends. Of course, I got my helper over there. It's the old mechanic's wife. She's gonna press the rear brake to block the wheel. Now, let's see, let's start. I got a bar with an extension. Now, let's see. First, we gotta put this one. I have to block it over here. Nou, let's go. Dan gaat die 1, 2, dat was het. Nou, dat gaat er redelijk goed.
Nee,
hoeveel?
388.
Ja. Guys, the torque is 88.3 Newton meters. So, this one we've got. We go to the next one. Yeah. First, we're gonna give it like this. So, now we can hold it with a wrench. Like this. Yep, and then we have to turn it. Nope. There he goes. Up. Something like this. Okay. Valt nog mee. This one. Oké. Kijk, want nou weet ik. Die is horizontaal, moet die rechtop staan. $88. Oké. 88.
Afvinken.
Afvinken. Oh.
Ja.
Check. Kijk, hoor.
Ja, loopt mooi.
Ja.
Ja.
Now guys, the last thing we have to do is get the chain on the right slack. And that's also easy. The slack, according to the BMW service manual, needs to be in between 35 and 45 mil on the side stand. So it's now on the side stand. We take the ruler and we measure somewhere in between. And this is, I think, a good point. Now, watch for the underside for the chain. You can use the upper or the underside. This is 7. This is 3, so it's already on 4. So I'm gonna put it a bit tighter. Here there are markings. And you have to set them on both sides on exactly the same. A bit. It's 3 and a bit on the upper level. And over here it's now also a 3 and a bit on the upper level. Let's see. Up. That point. Now it's 6.5, 2 and a bit. Yep. Now it's on 3.5. So that's perfect. Okay, first I'm gonna tighten it. So, the rear axle needs to be torqued at 100 Newton meters. So, this is 100. Now,
goes.
Yes. Okay. Oh. Check. Over there. See, now you can do it by hand. Way better than it was before. And we use that lock nut to block this one. We're gonna do on the other side too. Oh. So guys, this was my video about renewing the old chain and the old sprockets for a new chain and new sprockets on an F800GS BMW. Is it easy? Can you do it? You need a bunch of special tools. A bunch? Yeah. As you have seen, it was a bit of a problem. Nah, not a real problem. To get the rear axle out. An advice from me to all you F800GS fans, owners: get your bike on a motor stand and loosen your axle before it starts binding with the aluminium bushings. You have seen what I needed to use to get the axle out. Normally I use a rubber mallet. It's no problem. But for this one was already starting to bind, to corrode. A year later, the problem was much bigger. So, a tip: get the axle out and smear it with anti-size. Yeah, that's what you have to do for aluminium in contact with, in this case, the steel axle. Yeah, I have nothing more to say. Pump this one up, don't forget that, but already done. Torqued everything. Strange way of torquing the rear sprocket, as you have seen. So you can do it yourself. I save a lot of money, eh? Remember that, that's my channel all about. Teaching you, the average Joe, to do your own maintenance. It's easy. Even I can do it. No. So for now, old mechanic.